Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anime Sickos, the podcast for geniuses, the only podcast where we take a look at the four pillars of modern misery anime gaming, posting, and jobs. I'm Tom, an Anime Sicko.
I'm Joe, an Anime Sicko.
Usually we save COG talk till the end of episodes, like as the last segment. Not this time, because there's a big fucking COG development in the world of COG that you probably have heard of it, but don't even know that it's a COG issue. So let's just get right to it. COG talk. COG talk.
So, you've probably heard just a ridiculous explosion happened in Beirut, and initially, everyone was like, "Oh, this is a terrorist attack. This is unrest. This is a fireworks factory that was goofy." There was a lot of different stories initially, and the facts haven't changed that it sucks. There was a huge explosion and it ruined a ton of people's lives. But what we found out is that the story behind the explosion is one of the most predictable COG stories of human existence. This is a COG moment in history right now.
Yeah, we are basing this off of a CNN story that the headline is, "A Russian ship's cargo of dangerous ammonium nitrate was stranded in Beirut port for years." Now, if you are a soft-brained #resistance person, you're going to see the word Russia in this headline and be like, oh my god, it was the Russians sowing unrest as ever. No, don't get tricked. This is fucking 100% COG. It doesn't matter what country it happened in, it's the same all over.
Yeah, this is office politics that unfortunately leveled a huge chunk of a heavily populated city.
Yeah, just an enormous bomb went off downtown, killing hundreds of people, and all it is because a boss didn't want to do the hard work. Because did you know? I found out on this fucking article that Joe sent me that there were people working at the Port Authority warning their bosses that, like, hey, there's like 1,000 Timothy McVeighs just sitting around downtown, not contained. They're gonna blow up. Can you do something about it? And they're just like, no, we're not.
Yeah, and that was in 2014. So the people who were like, can we please move the bombs? They're very scary. Well, they got fired. They got fired for having good ideas.
We sure fucking hope they got fired, because if anyone was still working at that port, they're dead now. Because they got blown up by the bomb that they kept saying, please move. Like, I'm seeing right here that even after, the initial 2014 warning, there was another letter addressed to a judge in 2016 saying, due to the extreme danger posed by this stored item and unsuitable climate conditions, we reiterate a request to the port authorities to please re-export the goods immediately to maintain the safety of the port. It didn't happen. They just didn't do it.
No, it didn't happen. I'm sure many emails were written about the bombs, just the insane amount of explosives. They for sure didn't get read. There was definitely a meeting about the bomb, about how it's like funny to them. Like I don't know what they discussed, because the only thing to discuss is getting rid of it, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So.
And you may be wondering, like, how did the bomb even get? Like, what was the fucking huge amount of explosive material doing? And that's another COG story. There's, like, two intersecting COG stories, and they're both the same story, which is that the people who are able to make decisions don't want to, and the people who are forced to live with the decisions are like, please make another decision that's not this, and the boss is just like, I'm not listening to you, fuck you. So this was a Russian transport ship that was transporting a huge amount of ammonium nitrate, which apparently for fertilizer, it's the Timothy McVeigh stuff.
Yeah.
And it was going to go to Mozambique, and it stopped in Greece to refuel, and I'm going to read straight from the article now. That's when the ship's owner told the Russian and Ukrainian sailors that he had run out of money, and they'd have to pick up additional cargo to cover the travel costs, which led them on a detour to Beirut. Once in Beirut, the ship was detained by local port authorities due to gross violations in operating a vessel, unpaid fees to the port, complaints filed by the Russian and Ukrainian crew. The sailors had been on the ship for 11 months with no supplies. Someone on the ship wrote to Putin every day to get more supplies. They had to sell the fuel and use the money to hire a lawyer because there was no help. They didn't even get food and water. And then they had to abandon the ship. All that shit just stayed in Beirut. And, quote, according to our information, the Russian crew was later repatriated to their homeland and their salaries were not paid.
So they lost 11 months of their life scrapping this boat so they could eventually maybe not have it be filled with explosives next to such a populated area. And they were told just to go home, and also that wasn't work. Your pay will be docked.
Yeah. This shit is so insane because, again, there's like one of the other things that's in this article is there's like a person who's quoted. He's not like a player. He's like a expert who they called in to like give quotes.
He came in. He's like, oh, wow, that's a lot of bombs.
He says, quote, the idea that such a quantity would have been left unattended for 6 years beggars belief. Here's the thing. No, it doesn't. Like, I'm surprised there's not more. I'm surprised this isn't in every single port in the world.
It doesn't beggar belief when you realize that, like, this wasn't an attack or whatever. This was just, like, no one checked their Google Calendar for 6 years. Like, then I believe it. It's the easiest thing to believe. It's straightforward. It's a very simple story. This is, like, Goku loves to fight simple.
Yeah. Like, boss loved to not address problem. Goku loves fight. It's the same. Like, this guy is fucking saying, he's literally saying, I cannot believe that a boss wouldn't take risky, unprofitable action for the good of the people. And I just gotta say, incredible to these reporters to have gotten a poll quote from an actual baby, because how do you live in the world and think that anyone would do a hard thing that doesn't make you money?
This is actually a very scary pull quote because it has now convinced me that every warehouse is a problem, right? Like there's a supply chain issue everywhere where a boss didn't read an email, and it's just waiting to go up anywhere across the whole world. I assume this will happen all the time now. If it was as simple as someone not making a choice when they needed to in a meeting, we're fucked.
Yeah, because, like, Joe, there's a lot of explosive material, and it needs to go places sometimes. And if we're assuming that for every single time explosive material is transported, that all the bosses, the people who aren't actually doing the transporting, the bosses, if we're assuming that the bosses are, like, reading all of their emails and making decisions that they've, like, really thought through, like, you're dumb as fuck. They're deleting the emails and laughing at you. They love to not read.
Yeah, this is also like one of the most clear-cut examples of leadership according to like how it's described in business books. It's like you have a big responsibility. That big responsibility is that there's a big Looney Tunes cartoon bomb the size of Epcot, and it's sitting in a port. And you need to stop dressing it up to look like a spooky ghost, and you got to get it out of there.
Yeah, they're not going to fucking do that, ever. No, here's what they're going to do. Here, like, hey, there's a Looney Tunes bomb in the middle of downtown of a the most populous city in an entire country. And if it's going to blow up, and it's gonna, like it will, because it's just fucking sitting there, everyone's going to fucking die, and the city's going to be ruined forever. So please get rid of it. And they're like, I hear you. I understand what you're saying. Here's the thing, though. I'm going to call a meeting. The meeting's going to be for a completely different thing. And so I'm going to be too busy with that to deal with that. And then when I'm done with the meeting, I'm going to forget about this because I'm a boss. And like literally the definition of a boss is it's someone who doesn't actually have any responsibility.
In many ways, it was the sailors' fault because they should have tried harder to get agenda items on the meeting. Like they didn't push hard enough.
Like Joe, I'm just thinking about like, there's no equivalent for this in my job, but like I'm imagining like the closest equivalent is like there's like a 6-figure client that ordered like some shit that I need to do, And I'm like, oh, actually, there's like a problem with how it was. Like, they were sold something that's not possible. Like, our tools, like, literally can't do this. And so it's impossible to give them what they paid for. And if I were to, like, go to my boss, like the boss of the company specifically, and tell him about this, I would need to spend something like 20 hours first trying to explain what my department did, and I guarantee I wouldn't be able to do it. He wouldn't get it.
Like 20 minutes in, he'd be like, so what's your job title again? I'm not clear on why you're here.
Like, for a fucking another example, like the thing that the program, the proprietary program that all of my skills are in, and thus making them completely non-transferable, is a proprietary program that was written in Microsoft Silverlight and thus can only operate on Internet Explorer. And the reason being, because like it was fucking written in like 2012, and now when we're like, hey, this fucking thing barely works anymore, they're just like, we can't hear you because I'm in a meeting.
and like the 6 years thing, like the fact that these explosives sat in a warehouse for 6 years, like having to deal with choices that didn't make sense 6 years ago is the most office thing on the planet.
Yeah, holy shit. Because yeah, nothing can like be addressed or be changed in a way that actually like matters structurally, because it has to get the boss's approval. Like, there's so many problems that are clearly obvious, like, well, this is a problem and it needs to be fixed, but I need to go through my boss to do it. And the boss is like, well, I don't want to do that because I'm more focused on buying this new productivity tool and forcing you all to learn it.
We're doing Google Keep now. Don't care about that bomb shit. The other thing that's kind of obvious in retrospect is, like, if there's been a problem for 6 years, what incentive does a person with responsibility for that have to, like, fix it in 2019? Because the act of fixing it in 2019 makes it obvious that they didn't do shit for the past 5 years.
Exactly.
So they're better off just, I don't know, hoping the thing that happened doesn't happen.
Yeah. If you took responsibility for it ever, you would be admitting that you hadn't been taking responsibility for it before, which is stupid to do as a boss. Like, if you're a boss, you'd be a moron to do that, because again, you're throwing away the most incredible benefit that being a boss gives you, which is that you're not responsible for anything. Like, the fucking guys in the port are like, hey, there's a huge bomb and it's going to kill us all. And they're just like, I don't give a shit. We're going to pass the buck to you. You deal with it. And it's like, but we can't deal with it without your approval. And they're like, well, we're not going to give you our approval. So that sucks so bad. Bye.
Yeah, this is like every job I've had, but the stakes are higher. And, you know, I've never made a mistake that has caused that much loss of life and destruction. And I don't want to say stuff I can't take back, but I don't think I ever will. I don't think I'm ever going to be in a situation where, like, me doing a goof, a real mess up that could end up killing that many people. Like, it's just not in the future for me.
Yeah. Even though, as you say, like, there's no way that you can reach that scale of goof 'em up. Like, the story isn't like, oh, there was a Hezbollah factory, it's a terror attack.
Where all the Hezbollah guys come from, they get cranked out.
Yeah, no, like there's not like, oh, the region is becoming embroiled in war and sectarian violence. Like, this is a story that could happen in any fucking COG scenario. It's just the scale has been cranked up to like 30. Like fucking my old shitty job that I had with Guesto Kevin Johnson, where I wrote blog posts and I'm like, can you please post these blog posts? And my boss was like, I'm not answering this email. And then like a month later, the guy was like, how come there haven't been any blog posts posted on the site? You were supposed to be posting them the whole time. Like, that was the bomb blowing up, but no one died. This time people did die, but like the story is the same.
Yeah. Can I read this tweet that really tickled me the morning it happened?
Please do.
So this is my favorite Twitter phenomenon when, like, something of historic import happens. This happened with the Notre Dame Cathedral burning as well. There was a lot of this. where the responsible, intelligent, reasonable people try to like weigh in on the current moment without like saying anything that can be proven false because they don't want to like, say something incorrect, but they still want to be involved in the conversation and be seen as a person of like authority. Mm-hmm. So this was a tweet by Sana Saeed where she tweeted, "Hundreds wounded, who, why, still unknown. Devastating. Lebanon has gone through so much in the last few months, including economic devastation, which has left countless refugees, migrant workers, and the poor to face starvation. Hoping there isn't further destabilization." Like, in what universe does a bomb that destroys like an entire city not make things worse?
This is boss mentality, because it's just like, damn, that's too bad. Anyway, back to my meeting.
Like, there is like a sort of weird optimism in that last clause that like is like it actually might be better. Like things might be actually be good. I don't know what's in that bomb.
The fucking thing about like all these Twitter responses is that so many people who don't have our keen eye aren't understanding that this is a cog issue. That the key here is that just people in charge don't care, and they never have and never will. They think it's like some other stuff. Like, Joe, you found some NBA guy who had a fun take.
So right when this happened, noted NBA expert Chris Ballmer was like, "This is a mushroom cloud. We're looking at a Metal Gear has struck this town." He just said this like very confidently. And the next time something like this happens, I'm going to beat him to the punch. I'm going to like aggressively have my version that gets a bunch of attention, but it's just going to be like, I bet some bosses didn't read emails. I bet that's what happened here.
Yeah. So a boss looked at an email, saw that it was like 2 paragraphs, and so like, ugh, don't care about this, and then just like had a business lunch with fucking Mohammed bin Salman. It was like, I'm very efficient.
So in the U.S., like there hasn't been a single thing that has caused as much devastation as this. Tons of bad decisions compounding countlessly over on top of each other in a big tapestry of pain, but not like I forgot to move the bomb bad. But one that was close, this feels like forever ago. I don't know if you remember, in December of 2019, there was a UPS driver who his van was like hijacked, and then the police just like blew him and the hijacker away. Like they fired I think something like 200 rounds into this delivery truck.
Yeah, I'm looking at the article. It was over 200 shots fired on a fucking like highway with like civilians, and they were just like brat motherfucker, eat my shit, this will go fucking kill someone, yeah, we're cops.
Yeah, you know the scene in RoboCop where like they're in the boardroom and they test out like the new automated thing, and it kills that guy and he gets shot for like an hour.
Yeah.
It was basically that, and obviously that's fucked up, but to really hit home that like it doesn't matter to leadership, UPS like execs like thanked the police for their service.
Yeah, they wrote like a big thing that was like, "Dear Mr. Police, your dicks are very cool and they all can get hard very easily, and you don't require any chemical assistance to get hard, and you're also good, and we love that you killed that guy. That guy actually wanted to he actually wrote a big note this morning saying, I hope I get killed by the cops. That would make me go to heaven. Thank you so much." And like, it's this shit, and like, especially how in now times when there is this horrible catastrophe that's choking the country to death slowly, and everything's terrible and all of our systems are failing. And even now, when everyone's seeing it happen, the Democrats are like, well, one thing we're not going to do is change anything. We're not going to make anything better. You can count on that. You might be forgiven by getting frustrated, being like, how can they not see this as a problem? How can they not change things? Like, how can this bomb go off in Lebanon and just completely out of executive incompetence. And how can that not be something that spurs change? Well, because nothing actually went wrong. like you dying isn't important. It's like if a tractor ran over a bunch of field mice while it was doing its farm work, and you were like, that tractor's broken. No, it isn't. The tractor worked fine. They're actually going to make a bigger one with even bigger wheels to squish more of you.
All those dead mice are data now, and their sacrifices are beloved and will make a new, better tractor.
God.
And that was the same thing that happened with the UPS driver. Like, he was probably just hauling like a bunch of dildos from Amazon. Like, I don't know what was in that truck, but the thought of like what's in the average UPS truck, and it's just a bunch of shit from Amazon, and the fact that like you can, in defense of that garbage from Amazon, you would kill 2 people, including one person who's just trying to do his job. And also, all that stuff is insured. Like, that's like the thing. Like, the non-insured part is the driver.
Yeah, because if he die, he stays dead. I don't know if you know this, but if you shoot someone 1,000 times, they die. I think someone should tell the cops that. I don't think they know.
Yeah. So all of this, all of that over property that was insured. And the reason being, no one cares.
Yeah, they fucking don't care about you. That's the underlying theme of all of this. Like, they don't fucking care about you. Your life is not important, because what's important is, like, what was important in that UPS shit is that, one, that the cops remain unchallenged as a force that can cow the public. We cannot say that they're illegitimate, because then the public might get mad at us. And the other valuable thing is Amazon deliveries, which is like the last fucking industry in America that actually like creates like so many fucking companies. What they do is like shit that you can't see because it's fake. Like, my company makes fake reports that are shitty and on Excel. Amazon at least like brings the dildo to your house. There's a dildo there where there weren't before.
Yeah, like getting it on a truck like requires planning. That's a real service.
And like that's what's important. So like the fact that Beirut is a city that exists and has people living in it, that's not important, really. What's important is that dealing with a lot of fucking explosive material is expensive and difficult.
It's also stressful. Just don't think about it. Like, focus on you right now.
It's stress. If you decide to take responsibility and move the explosive material and it goes wrong, well, now everyone's going to get mad at you. Everyone's going to say, you really fucked this up. But if it just blows up when it was sitting there, it's like, well, this is just how it is. Oops.
Things happen, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes they explode. Also, like, was it, like, stored in an oily rag factory with, like, a bunch of sparklers? Because I have seen many videos of the explosion, and before, like, the scary one, you know, the one that looks like a mushroom cloud, things are blowing up in the way that, like, I don't know, like a factory full of fireworks or something. Like, there's a bunch of smaller explosions. So it raises the question, like, they couldn't even move that. Like, that had to be next to the fertilizer.
Yeah, this guy, I mean, dude, moving stuff is expensive. And if someone's not going to pay the boss to do it, he's not going to give the approval to do it, because he's going to hear, here's what's going to happen. He's going to hear someone say, hello, I would like to move hazardous material. And the boss is going to say, please do not tell me the reasons why, because I don't give a shit, because I don't live in a world where there are material concerns. I live in a world of meetings where nothing is real and everything is just a line item on a sheet. And I can't visualize why explosive items in a certain location would be any worse than anywhere else. Anyway, continue on knowing that, and they're going to be like, okay, well, I really would like them to be in a different place. And it's like, all right, how much profit is that going to generate? And it's like, well, none. It's actually going to cost money to move it. And then that guy's going to get executed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's grim. It sucks that it's such a mundane thing that caused this. It's just like the people in charge didn't care.
Yeah. Like, this is behavior that, like, if you just take the context of a huge bomb that killed hundreds of people out of it, If you take that away, this is behavior that I bet you'll recognize in a boss that you've worked with.
Yeah.
And just that's the people who make the decisions. And like, consider, oh man, how explosively bad, in no pun intended, this decision was. Basically everything bad that's going on is because of shit like that. Like, it's all, just because this one is flashy, they never stop. Like, there's shit that is this bad happening every day just by, like, accumulation.
Stuff we'll never know.
Yeah.
Like stuff hyper-localized.
All of which is to say, if you're not radicalized, fucking how?
Yeah, I don't know what your takeaway from this is other than, like, well, I hope it's not like, well, they should have got their MBA. They would have made better choices. There's a fear that is certainly a takeaway, and that is a opinion I will see hate quote tweeted from, like, I don't know, the Financial Times or something. Which one ran the Bolsonaro article that was like, the rainforests, are they adding value?
I think that's The Economist.
Yeah, that one rules. Just I love that just absolute skull-faced death worship, just blatantly like that. That's the good stuff.
Oh, God. Just makes you mad, doesn't it?
It does it. I don't even feel anymore. It certainly makes me feel this, like, amalgamated bad emotion that is now everything at once.
And all this shit is so infuriating because, like, it's, as you say, like, it's so clear. Like, this was the most predictable outcome. If there's a dangerous material that's hard to deal with, the person who's going to be in charge of saying, like, please deal with it in the difficult way is going to be like, no, don't. I want to learn about new enterprise software instead. That's going to, I read about it in a book. That's going to happen constantly. That's just how it is. And, like, every time I see someone defending the status quo, which is to say every single politician who has any control over my life, total control, you might say, and even just, like, people who I know who are, like, criticizing the protests because, like, it's too rowdy, it just makes me so sick. And it's so disgusting that, like, even this isn't going to change their fucking minds because they're just going to see, like, it was a Russian shipment of ammonium, whatever it was. Russians, baby. Hashtag Drumpf. And, like, Jesus Christ. It's bleak as shit.
Yeah, and, like, even if it was, like, a nefarious intention, like, there were 6 years to to mitigate it.
Yeah, and, like, even if it wasn't nefarious intention, it smacks like that Mitchell and Webb sketch where there's, like, the British Secret Service who are plotting Princess Diana's assassination, and then at the end they get a phone call and they're like, oh, all that stuff happened by itself already.
Yeah. It's grim. It sucks.
We're the anime sickos, and we're here to say anime is bad in a war crimes way.
All right, so I want the record to show that I didn't like what we were about to do at first. I was against this. I was hoping I could pocket veto this whole thing.
It was one of the first ideas that we had for Anime Sickos back when we didn't really understand what the show would become, and we were just, like, coming up with ideas, being like, one of these is gonna stick. Like, just no bad ideas. I had a bad idea. It was this one, and you correctly refused to allow us to do it. But then I had a breakthrough, which is we talked a lot about tournaments, right? And how great they are.
Yes. This is our chance to fucking prove that tournaments improve everything.
Yeah, because we're about to do the stupidest and probably worst tournament you could ever do.
So, enough teasing. Do you want to just tell the good people at home, Tom, what we have planned?
We have planned an ultimate, definitive 48 combatant tournament that we have titled the Fruit Annihilation Tournament, which will determine with scientific accuracy once and for all the best fruit.
Yes. This is an improvement from your original idea, which, and I can't stress enough, you just wanted to rank the fruits.
I thought it would be funny.
No. But this, however, now you're cooking with gas. So we made the fucking bracket. We identified 48 fruits. We've also broke them into 4 distinct regions, which we will get into in a moment. So, Tom, can you explain what the rules are?
Okay, so the rules of the Fruit Annihilation Tournament are simple. It is single elimination. If you lose once, you're out of the tournament. The top 4 seeds in each region get a bye in the first round so that they can charge their special attacks.
Yes.
As for the criteria by which we are judging the fruits, they're completely fucking random and arbitrary, and the entire purpose of the tournament is for you to get mad at us for the decisions we make.
Yes. The way we determine a winner is we have to talk it out. We have to come to a consensus.
Mm-hmm. And even if it's clear, if it's like apples versus like turds, like something terrible, and it's clear what the winner is, like we gotta talk it out. We gotta make the case. And the round is over when we both come to an agreement. And if the agreement is I'll say it's your thing so that you'll shut up, which is going to happen, then that's it.
Yeah, that's it. This is how we determine which fruit is best. This is the scientific approach to this. Also, disclaimer, if this is awful, you need it. I was gonna say you need to tell us to stop, but that won't be enough because I'm addicted to this fruit bracket now. You have to come kill me.
Yeah. Like this shit. We set up a meeting to go through our Trello where we keep all of our great ideas and like throw away the shit that was definitely never going to get recorded. And we came across Rank the Fruits and we were like, this shit is terrible. And I was like, but what if it was a tournament? And then it was the only thing we could think about. So like we're super addicted to this now. If there's like a really good chance, there's like I'd say a 70% chance that this is unlistenable shit and is not funny. You have to tell us because we will go through every single fucking bout if you don't.
Yeah, this first push is we're only doing one region. We're not going to go through 48 bouts. We're sticking with the first region.
First region, first round. We're not going all the way to like the fucking final 4 here. It's just the first round. We're not even going to see the top 4 seeds. They've got their bye. They're charging their power.
Okay, so we need to introduce everyone to the regions and the combatants.
Yes. Joe, what is the first region? The top left.
So in the top left here, we have the region of the classic killers. The classic killers are what you think of when you think of fruit.
When you see a candy that's a fruit-flavored candy and there's a little cartoon bowl, these are the fruits that are in it.
Yeah. These are typically like the platonic ideal of fruits, and also they're used to teach toddlers about letters and colors.
Like a white guy who like doesn't know how to cook, who like his only sort of move in the kitchen is like I can boil a hot dog. Like these are the fruits that guy's gonna know about.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Joe, what's the next region?
The next region, we got big fruits. Big fruits are the heavy hitters, the heavyweight class. These are fruits you cannot eat without a proper loadout, so you better have a knife ready. These fruits are simply huge.
Now, some of these fruits in this region are not huge. They're not big at all. They're quite small, actually.
We tried our best. It's very hard to come up with the categories that pan out correctly.
It's hard enough to get 48 different fruits on a list and then try to get 4 regions that equally divide up. Sorry, not happening.
Yeah. So big fruits are either physically big or they have big energy, which we are going to use as an out to save us from our shitty categories.
All right, Joe, next category. Next one. This is a good one.
Okay, so we got classic killers. We got big fruits. Let me introduce the rebels.
You know how the fish at the bottom of the sea are really fucked up and they have just a gross shape and they don't even look like living things, but like you ask a scientist like what is that? And they're like that's still a fish.
Yeah, that's what these fruits are. These are fucked up fruits that are still fruits. Like they are freaks for sure.
All right, Joe. We got to bring it home. What's the final region?
So the final region is Du Bois.
Quite simply, it's Du Bois.
It's Du Bois. Du Bois region is home to some dangerous freaks. All these guys are criminals from Meteor City who grew up in a big pile of trash.
One thing that you got to know about Du Bois, and this is, I think, the crucial point, and I think if you're going to come away with anything from this segment, it's this. It's that Du Bois is definitely not just the 12 fruits that were left over after we assigned fucking 36 to the other 3 regions. That's not what's happening. Don't think that.
Yeah, please do not besmirch the identity and, like, collective friendship of Du Bois.
Okay, so now we know our 4 regions are classic killers, Big Fruit, Rebels, and Du Bois. Joe, I'm going to real quick just run down the 12 combatants from each one of the regions. I'm not going to do jokes about these just so that we can get through them quickly.
With the caveat, Tom is about to read them in seed order. So the ones near the front, you better believe those are the powerful fruits that are getting a bye.
Correct. So, for the classic killers, our top 4 seeds that are getting a bye are apple, orange, strawberry, and cherry. Now, these are the fucking fruits you're going to see in this fucking edition of the Fruit Annihilation Tournament. At seed number 5, banana. Seed number 6, lemon. Seed number 7, lime. Seed number 8, grape. Seed number 9, peach. Seed number 10, blueberry. Seed number 11, pear. And seed number 12, raspberry. Moving on to big fruit. The top 4 are pineapple, mango, watermelon, and dates. Dates you may be noticing.
Mango's not that big either.
I mean,
I'm gonna be real with you.
You got to use a knife though. That was my thinking. You got to use a knife to get into a mango. That makes it a big fruit. You don't need a knife to get into a date. A date is just patently not big. But fucking, what do you want from us? Anyway, moving on. Seed number 5, figs. Again, not big. Sorry. Seed number 6, persimmon. Joe, have you ever had a persimmon?
I have no idea what a persimmon is, so I can only assume it's massive.
Exactly. I haven't either. I'm with you. Seed number 7, pomegranate. Seed number 8, papaya. Seed number 9, grapefruit. Seed number 10, plum. Wow, this doesn't fit. I think nothing fits in big fruit less than plum, but what can you do? Seed 11, cantaloupe, and seed 12, honeydew. Moving on to the rebels.
These are the freaks.
The top 4 getting a bye from the rebels region. Number 1, coffee. Technically a fruit. Technically a seed of a fruit. So we're putting it there.
I just want to let the record show Winnie was so upset about coffee being on this.
Yeah, that's why it's a rebel.
I brought up to her, I was like, well, people are going to be upset no matter what, because like this seems like an activity that is going to produce some opinionated people. And she was like, no, if you just get rid of coffee, no one will be upset.
Sorry, a coffee bean is the seed of a cherry, a special cherry that makes coffee beans. It's a fruit. We're dealing with it. All right, anyway, moving on. The other 3 in the top 4 of the rebels are tomato, technically a fruit, coconut, and avocado. And then seed number 5 in the rebels is jackfruit. Seed number 6 is a pluot. Seed number 7, a mulberry. Seed number 8, an oogly. Seed number 9, gooseberry. Seed number 10, starfruit. Seed number 11, dragonfruit. And seed number 12, durian. And that brings us to Du Bois. Joe, the top 4 for Du Bois. So this is the phantom troop of fruit. And the Crollo of the phantom troop is green apple. Green apple is Crollo.
So green apple was a classic killer. And then he left to start his own group.
He was too badass for the classic killers. They couldn't handle him.
Right. We also didn't want to have 2 apples in one region.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Correct. Although, actually, now that you mention it, there's 2 oranges, arguably 3 oranges in this region. But let's continue. The top 4, yes, as I said, green apple, then clementine, then blackberry, and then blood orange. Ooh, badass. Anyway, for the remainder, at seed number 5, we have apricot. Seed number 6, kiwi. Seed number 7, currant. Seed number 8, nectarine. Seed number 9, lychee. Seed number 10, the third orange, bitter orange. This counts as like a marmalade orange or a Seville orange or a bergamot orange, just any bitter orange. Seed number 11, acai, and seed number 12, cranberry.
All right. I'm feeling good about this. Let's get into it. Let's start the tournament.
All right. So Joe, the first bout in the Classic Killers region, we're going to have seed number 5, banana, versus seed number 12, raspberry. Ooh, this is going to be a spicy bout just off the jump, because I got to tell you, Joe, both of these fruits are extremely powerful. They have diverse move sets, and I like them both.
I eat 2 bananas a day. Raspberries can eat shit.
All right, so here's where I'm at. So my wife has very few food aversions. I have more food aversions than her, but one food aversion that she has that is incredibly strong, to the point where she can't even see like a picture of it on screen. And if there's like a movie where someone's eating it, she can't look. And buddy, it's bananas. So I haven't had a banana in like 7 years.
Okay, like, do you miss them?
I kind of, but it's never like painful that I don't have one, which is kind of a point not in its favor. Raspberries, okay, here's the thing about raspberries. They got that tart tang that you love. You crave that tang. They make a quite good accompaniment with chocolate. If you're making a nice chocolate cake or like a pie that has like a chocolate cream base, if you get some raspberry on there, that tang along with that depth of the chocolate, you got an excellent combination. Joe, can banana answer that?
My take on that is a banana is just like an inherently portable fruit. It's just one thing.
Ooh.
You can just put it in your dumb lunchbox as if, we go anywhere anymore.
Yeah, as if that were legal. That's a good point, Joe. They have transportation abilities that other fruits simply don't.
You don't have to wash a banana.
You don't have to wash it, and it's a portable fruit that also is not in the big fruit category. So many portable fruits are big fruits where like you can take it to a different place, but like you gotta also have a knife there, which probably is not going to be okay if you bring out a knife in public.
Yeah, if you like brought a watermelon to work and a big knife, you're a psychopath for sure.
Yeah, and bringing it up really does put into perspective one of the weaknesses of raspberry, which is that they're very squishy, and also
they don't travel well.
Yeah, you buy raspberries, you got to know what you're going to do with them within 2 days, because if you don't, what you're going to have is a sad day where you take a fucking little plastic package of shit out of your fridge and look at the mold and go, "Eee!" and throw it out, and think about how that's like $1.50 down the drain.
And if you took too long to pull the trigger on a banana and it's getting like really dark, that's just like banana bread fodder. Like, it's fine. It just morphs into a different purpose.
It's a special move. It's like the special move where like when you die in a game, like your body drops a grenade.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm feeling like banana is the winner here.
Yeah, I hate to just give it to the higher seed, just with such ease, but as much as I love raspberries, they don't have the versatility and the special sort of support powers that banana does. So I think we're going to have to give this to banana. Raspberry has been eliminated from the Fruit Annihilation tournament.
Rip to raspberry.
All right, next on the fucking docket, we have 7 seed lime versus 10 seed blueberry. Holy shit. Oh my god, this is a hot fucking bout. These are both very close to my heart.
From the hip, here's my take. Blueberry is like an actual food. Lime is just like a thing that adds to stuff. Like, if you sit down and just like chomp on a lime, you gotta go to hell. You gotta go to hell. Like, you don't belong among the living.
I'm with you, Joe. I'm in agreement that lime is a sort of support class, whereas blueberry is DPS.
Yeah.
And normally that in a one-on-one tournament, that is a death sentence. Like, sorry, no medics are going to win the fucking tournament. It's not happening. So lime is an ingredient, I would say, rather than its own thing. But, Joe, I would not be so quick to dismiss it because, like, flour is just an ingredient. You're not going to eat a spoonful of flour, but, like, you'd be fucked if there was no flour around.
Yeah, I just feel like lime is always an additive thing. It always enhances things. But I've never been like, well, oh, fuck, there's no lime. This is garbage.
That's okay. There's definitely been times when you eat food and the fact that it doesn't have a tangy zip of acid brightening the flavor has made you dislike it. You might not have known that that's why you didn't like it, but like, I guarantee anyone who's lived on this fucking planet, it's happened to dozens of times. Some fucking thing that just like a squeeze of lime would put it over the edge. Have you considered why like all fucking Asian food and Mexican food comes with a fucking thing, a little wedge of lime on the side? It's not because it doesn't make it good, dude.
That's a good point. Any citrus splash added to fish is fucking really good.
Also, fucking Corona, the beer, not the thing that makes us not leave the house. Very shitty. Corona with some lime? Well, you're having a good time with the boys.
That's true. Okay, I'm like swayed here. I'm going to give it to lime.
I'm going to switch gears completely. Now I'm going to defend blueberry because I also love
Why are
blueberries.
you the devil? Why are you the actual devil?
To get a rise out of you fucking... How have you not caught on? Here's the thing about blueberries. And that's a delightful flavor taste bursting with goodness you can get at the farmer's market. Well, actually, you can't now because I can't leave the house, but you used to be able to get at my farmer's market these Michigan blueberries that they would flash freeze as soon as they picked them. And they were fucking big and plump and so tasty. And you know what you could do with those motherfuckers? You sort of get a handful, you squeeze them just a little bit, not just while they're still frozen, just sort of crunch them a teeny bit. Put them in some water. You know what you got there? You got ice water that's also blueberry flavored. Incredible.
That's good. That's good. My take on blueberries is that they are pretty expensive off season. So from a purely practical standpoint, that's kind of where I'm at.
They are definitely a glass cannon now that you mention it. And also, yeah. I think we've all had that experience of eating some like off blueberries where like it's a month off from it being the good time to eat blueberries. And you know how they have that little like bloom at the top? Like I guess where the stem was, where there's like the little burst where the skin sort of peels back. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but when it's like the off month, it looks like a hideous scab that should not be respected.
It's crunchy and we don't like it. While lime is not sort of a star player, it's got the versatility and consistency that blueberries just don't.
The lime puts in work. It's got good fundamentals.
The lime has done 10,000 bounce passes. It'll never get a triple-double, but you want it on your team.
Yeah. A workhorse for sure. The lime is the sixth man.
Joe, I'm having a creeping, horrifying suspicion that this is going to be a 100% seed-based tournament where the higher seeds win every single time and there's no upsets. But hey, maybe I'm speaking too soon because the next one up on the docket, Seed 8 versus Seed 9, Grape versus Peach. Where are you at on this one?
I don't give a shit about grapes. It doesn't matter if they're green or red. They're fine.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't care.
Why don't they do anything for you? Is it just like the taste isn't that important to you, or is it like the fact that they come on like a little Sudoku puzzle that like gives you a chore before you have to eat them? Is that what's killing it for you?
The chore isn't helping. I think I just feel sort of betrayed by the image of grapes because like I as a kid I was shown that like being fed grapes was like the most decadent thing you could have happen to you. And I'll be honest, they're not that good. Like, if someone fed me grapes, I would be like, well, can you just get a banana? I don't know. Just like any other fruit. I don't want to be hand-fed grapes.
Joe, and I think here's something to consider. All the grapes that we're eating are seedless grapes, which, like, I bet a grape purist would say, like, well, there's your problem. You're eating, like, it's like saying you don't like beer because you drank a Budweiser and it was bland. That's what they would say, I think. I've invented a guy, and I'm mad at him now, and it's the grape purist.
That guy sucks.
Have you ever had a seeded grape, a grape with a seed?
No, and I'm not even sure where you can buy them because, like, what store is going to be like, oh, you know grapes? What if they were worse?
Yeah, you got to buy them at a rich person's store. I had a fucking seedless grapes like once or twice in my life. So let me tell you, nothing could be worse.
How many seeds are in there?
There's ideally one, but sometimes there's more, and that's the worst because you got to do the process twice of finding a seed with your little tonguer and then expelling it, and then you're like, finally got done with that shit ass. Oh no, there's another one. It's for grapes are a scale based fruit. They're a fruit that is their sort of special move is scaling. The point and strength of the grape is that you eat like 100 of them because they're just all there on your little stick.
Yeah, and that's a case against me because I get bored incredibly easy. So, like, if there's an activity where I have to get through a pile of something, I'm gonna bail. I just don't have the focus.
Joe, okay. Counterpoint. What do you think of this? Fucking wine.
I don't really drink. Drinking makes me feel dumb. I
that's
know
because
it's
of what it does to your brain, Joe. That's the point.
Yeah, wine drunk is also like a very different drunk than like liquor or beer, and it's definitely the one where I have the lowest IQ because like hard liquor, like the right amount, which is just shy of 2 shots.
Yeah.
I'm an engineer then.
but 2 glasses of wine and what are you then?
I'm just like sleepy and like I will pronounce words wrong even more so than normal. It sucks.
Okay. Now that was kind of a trick question, Joe, because I'm actually on your side here on wine. I wanted to highlight grapes' versatility, but wine I think is a Ivy League trick designed to fool the pros because every glass of wine I've ever had in my life tastes exactly the same.
I have no palate for wine. When people like have like opinions about like, oh, this has a fruity head, et cetera, and I'm like, you can't just like do word jazz. It's just juice.
Yeah. Now we sort of talked a lot of shit on grapes, Joe, but we've ignored that there's another combatant in this round, and that's the peach. Now, I've spoken a lot about peaches. I did a whole thing on my other show, The Skewer, about peaches, which is that when you're eating a peach, you're taking a big gamble. You're fucking pulling an arm on a slot machine, and you're almost guaranteed to lose. Because, like, the last probably 20 peaches I've had have been flavorless rocks with not a drop of liquid in them.
Yes, I feel like peaches are like the cloud from Kengan Ashura, where like the highs are high and the lows are low. But like I don't fault them because I'm also very inconsistent as a person. So like, who am I to say that's an issue?
That's a good point. And I mean, as much as I have to say that like I've been burned buying a peach from the farmer's market because it looked really good and it cost a lot, and then I get home and I'm like, time to take a bite of this peach. And then all of my teeth break like a cartoon. They all do a spider web crack, and then there's the sound of like a piano going like as all the pieces fall out because I didn't realize that this is the driest orb that ever was. But that said, I've also had peaches that are like candy, that like you touch your teeth to it and it's just like and gives and smooshes peach juice into your mouth, and it's the sweetest flavor.
Yeah, there's no like, wait, what's the fucking other fruit? Hold on.
Grapes, dude.
Okay, yeah, sorry. There is no like high point of ecstasy from grapes that compares.
That's true. I mean, and the only thing that you could say would be like the finest of wines. But as we say, that's a trick. Anyone who says that like a fine wine is like better than the wine from the Aldi is tricking you for a joke.
Yeah, I remember like one time my brother-in-law was given like, I think it was like a 60-year-old bottle of wine. It was like incredibly old just to be given. But the seal broke, so it was vinegary shit. It was so bad. So that made me realize that the whole thing about wine being good if it gets older, that's just a lie. I know that seal was broken, and it's not how it works, but I can't untangle that experience with science.
Mm-hmm. And I have a similar stupid wine experience story. I'm going to say it very briefly. Basically, some distant cousins of my wife's own a business where they bottle and import Moldovan wine into America, and they have a very small but dedicated clientele of people who really want to get that Moldovan wine. You can't get it anywhere else in America, only from them. And I had a bottle, and I could instantly tell why there were not a huge amount of distributors distributing this shitty wine. Joe, it tasted like you took a bad wine and then put like 1,000 pounds of sugar in it. It made me want to die. I think we're giving it to Peach is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I would rather drink Mountain Dew. That's the better play for me. If it's that sweet and also sucks, at least give me like the sweetness that makes me good at gaming.
Yeah. At least give me something that pairs with the heady bouquet of a Dorito.
Yes, correct. So Peach is the victor.
Yeah.
Grapes go to hell.
Joe, that's the first upset. The Peach was the 9 seed under Grape at an 8. That's incredible. Also, have you ever heard a grilled peach?
No.
I gotta recommend that if you haven't. It's incredible. What a flavor. If you grill the grape, it would just burst and be shitty. Anyway, moving on to the final bout of the first round of the Classic Killers region of the Fruit Annihilation Tournament. Number 6, Lemon versus number 11, Pear.
So I feel like everything we said about lime, you can copy-paste to lemon.
Here's the thing, though. That's true, but also, lemon is better. Like, lemon, you get lemonade. You can technically make limeade, but, like, what the fuck's your problem? Lemon, you get lemon bars. You get, like, lemon candy.
Right. Lemon and lime came from the same dojo, but lime was trained wrong.
Lime was trained... He was only trained like the support skills. Like he is the fucking squire for lemon, but like the ninja word for squire and not the England word.
Correct. So out of the gate, we're saying that lemon is a preferred, favored winner here. So pears. I haven't eaten a ton of pears. Like, not like the Always Sunny joke where Charlie had never had a pear before, and then he eats it with the sticker on it. But, like, it's just not something I seek out that much, and I think it's because, like, when they are, like, not great, they are sandy pieces of garbage.
Yeah, we're running into the peach issue where, like, a bad pear is, like, really bad. But, like, when would you even notice a bad lemon, you know?
This is sort of like a palette swap bout I'm feeling. I'm feeling a lot of similar themes.
Fuck, you're right. Okay. Yeah, this is okay. What we just saw was Mario versus Marth. This is Luigi versus Roy.
Correct. Yes. And based on that, I'm going to have to give it to noted pog, Luigi.
Now, Joe, I can't let you go that quick, of course. You ever had one of those Harry and David bourgeois people Christmas gift box pairs? Where
what the fuck are these words?
People who live in the suburbs, Joe. You don't know this. There's this company called Harry and David. Now, what they do is they offer a box of pears that you can get for your bourgeois friends for Christmas. And they don't exist any other time. And Joe, I was a little kid, and someone got my family a box of these pears as a gift. And I'm like, I don't really think that much of pear. I was where you are on pears, and I'm like, I bet that I would never want to eat this pear. And my mom was like, hey, you want to eat this pear? And I'm like, not really. She's like, yeah, but I'm already cutting up this pear. And I'm like, I'll have some of the pear. Joe, that was the best fucking fruit I ever had in my life. It had a whole cup of juice in it.
My counterpoint is, like, if you have bougie friends that need to be impressed, why would you get them pears when you can get them a huge tin of kettle corn? That's my take.
Yeah, that's ironclad logic, Joe. I'm giving it to lemon.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, pear, you're gone.
Yeah.
So, Joe, we just made it through 4 rounds of the Fruit Annihilation tournament in the Classic Killers region. How are you feeling after that?
I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I'm feeling like all my opinions were grounded in my experiences. That's sort of what happens with the Classic Killers. When we start getting into persimmon or like the gum fruit or some other weird shit it's sort of in the corner of the bracket, I'm just going to have to use my imagination, I guess, because I will not be drawing on personal anecdotes.
That's true. No matter what we do, the decisions we make are going to piss people off because there's nothing good that we could ever do that would please these howling apes. I like it. Personally, I think the Fruit Annihilation tournament is a great idea and is very funny and makes for great podcasting. And again, I have to make this clear. If you don't agree, now's the fucking time.
Kill me with the sword.
If you let us get like 1 or 2 more regions in and you decide, I don't know if this is a great idea, we got too much momentum to stop. This is your only chance.
Yeah, one thing we were considering is that like it's like a fun little addition to make a guest do. Like the guest introduces themselves, they tell their whole deal, and then it's like, okay, you are or are not an anime sicko, but coffee versus Pluot, ready, go.
Thank you so much for listening to Anime Sickos, everybody.
The dumb show that's about fruit.
It's about a fruit tournament. We're talking about fruit, from the store. I'm Tom, an Anime Sicko.
I am Joe, an Anime Sicko.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Twitter at TomHarrison19. Joe is also a sicko. You can follow him on Twitter at ShariaUncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Twitter at Anime Sickos or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.